Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today I present the most brutal, the most evil, the most sturdy high-gain guitar plugin the world has ever seen. This plugin is an entire guitar rig and is everything you need to achieve a variety of dirty high-gain tones. You can go from a vintage 90s Swedish death metal tone, very HM2-ish, that chainsaw thing, over something more scooped Florida death metal, over a variety of fuzzy tones, up to something that actually sounds really modern and tight with just a touch of chainsaw or a touch of fuzz. And all you need is one plugin. So very versatile, but always far away from the modern generic metal tones you hear very often. So let's have a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Grindstein plugin. So what you just heard, those were 4 tracks. No processing at all. Just an instance of the Grindstein plugin on every track. That's all. No EQ, no compression, no nothing. Sounds pretty cool, right? I think it was a mixture of the Modern Grind preset and the Wolverine Shoes. And then I also used the Pure HM2 preset, where it sounded especially fucked up and nasty. Yeah, and in case you were wondering why the bass is so loud, so that ugly distortion in that bass track is also coming from a Grindstein. So that is a great Grindstein party, right? A lot of dirt. Fantastic. So before I walk you through all the details of this plugin and show you the different modules and what you can do with it, let me tell you something about the history. It all started with this. This is the original hardware Grindstein preamp that I created with Cleartone, I think 3 years ago. And that was a huge success because it makes the whole HM2 thing so much more usable. You know, there are 2 channels, they are blendable. That means all the typical HM2 problems are gone. So we sold hundreds and hundreds of those pedals, which was fantastic, and decided we want to make a digital version for digital people and for poor people. You're welcome. So we teamed up with Audiority from Italy 1.5 years ago and started emulating the hardware, which was a lot of work, and it took us, I think, 55 revisions or something. It was especially hard to get the fuzzy distortion part right and to get those extreme wah-wah-like filters right, but I can assure you it sounds nothing but great. And we didn't stop there. I told you it's an entire rig. We got more modules. There's a noise gate based on the Cleartone Schnauzer pedal. There's an EQ, which is called Fleisch. Fantastic sounding EQ that is very powerful, yet the most idiot-proof EQ you have ever used. So it's for people like me. So yeah, just look at it. You know, there are just knobs called chainsaw or scoop, and they just do what they are supposed to do. Finally, there's a great sounding IR player with only 7 different IRs. Oh my God, only 7? Yes, but they give you a huge variety, starting from pretty normal and going to very extreme. You will hear it in a minute. And I spent a lot of time getting those IRs right. Like a lot of different speakers, a lot of different microphone. It's not only your typical V30 and SM57 kind of thing. This is very, very extreme, and there's a lot of variation in those tones. Let's dive into the plugin. I want to show you all the modules. I want to show you all the details, all the knobs, walk you through some of the presets. If you can't wait, of course, there's a link below where you can purchase the plugin. And right now it's on sale. It's 50%, so you better grab it. And that is now, September 10th. I don't know how long we're going to keep the price. But if you're watching this video in 2 years, there won't be any discount anymore. So you better get it now. Let's head over to Cubase and let me show you the plugin. Boom. So let's check out the plugin. I'm playing my beloved Fernandez Ravel baritone guitar loaded with EMG pickups, and I'm going straight into the computer. Sounds like this. Let's load the plugin in Cubase. Grindstein, here we go. First thing you want to do, if you're not on a laptop or something, you want to click the Audiority logo and change the size. Here, go to big, because big is beautiful. Let's check out how it sounds right out of the box. And that's what I love about this plugin. It's tight yet dirty, you know? It always has that fuzzy quality in the distortion. And a touch of HM2 if you want, but you know, it's tight enough for anything, basically. Let me show you some of the presets before I walk you through all the details. And take the next one. Kohle Modern Grind, so this is more... Next one. Very Swedish. Very different sounding, right? Very Swedish mids in there. Old school. Let's check out the next one. Let's just go through a few of them so you see how versatile this plugin is. Pure HM2. But you can read this, right? For the doomy guys out there. Really nasty shit. This one's also nice. Very aggressive, very tight, but again you can hear the brutzel. It's even called Kohle Barbecue Brutzel. Let's go back to the initial preset and let me walk you through the 4 modules first of all. So you see down here, you see the signal flow. There's an input where you can boost or cut the input signal, an output here on the other side, and in between you first go into the gate, which looks like this. And the gate is a digital emulation of the Cleartone Schnauze pedal gate. So let me just turn it off. Cuts the noise. But I have to say I'm pretty proud how silent the grindstone is for all the distortion we've been adding. Here's also a boost. This is just like in the hardware. This is just a volume boost if you need that. So this is not a gain boost. It's in the hardware, so we emulated that. But the main feature is a noise gate. Just a threshold here, nothing else to understand. Then, this is the heart of the plugin, obviously. The Grindstein preamp. So next one is the EQ I've been talking about. And look how beautiful that piggy is. Look at the eyes. That's the EQ. And finally, we have the cabinet section where you can load different IRs. By the way, if you want to load your own IRs, turn this off and use another IR loader. But I'm pretty sure you're not going to need more than this. We'll see. Let's go back to the Grindstein and let me introduce all the features here. So as you might know, this is a 2-channel unit where you can blend the channel. So that's why we have the mix knob in the middle. And if you go to this side, you only hear the lower channel, which we call the bottom shaker channel, this one. If you go to this side, you only hear this channel, which is the chainsaw channel, based on an HM2. But we've changed a lot of things. But it's based on an HM2, that Boss HM2 chainsaw distortion. Then we have a boost, boosting both channels. The boost can be turned off, which is not possible on the hardware. It is actually possible if you open it up. There's a switch in there, but not on the outside. The boost is some kind of mix between a Tube Screamer and a Lichtbringer from Cleartone. Very nice boost, yeah, but can be turned off. And finally, we have a master, for the output of both channels. Those are the main features. So let's have a listen to, now we're just playing the chainsaw channel up here. Sounds like this. And we have 3 different EQ bands here. The one in the middle, the grind band, is pretty close to what you get on an HM2. I think there it's called high, mid-high or something. Have a listen. It's not exactly the same though, but it's that wah-wah-like filter, that very special filter that makes it sound so Swedish if you crank it. Another way to get really filthy is this high knob here. If you crank it, you just get another color of nasty. Beautiful. And then we have the mid cut, which you can't find on the normal HM2. And this one will just remove some of the honk, 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 honk non-brutal frequencies. Honk. Honk. I like that. Okay, let me show you the other channel. Sounds like this. This is the bottom shaker channel. Yes, sounds a bit boring on its own. But this is mainly intended to give the chainsaw channel more balls, more low end, and yeah, a tighter distortion. Let's just blend the two. So if you just start with the chainsaw channel, HM2, listen how much low end is missing. And you get it back when you blend in the bottom shaker channel. And believe me, you will never get that amount of bass, of low end from the original HM2. Not the amount of usable bass, because this actually stays tight. Try this with any other HM2 pedal. Then we have 2 modes. There's a bright mode for the chainsaw channel. That is the original Grindstein hardware mode. And there's also a dark mode. And we are shifting the mids in a way. Mostly it sounds darker, but it really depends on the settings. So have a listen. So it gets a little more aggressive here. 2K, 1K. Dark has a little more sizzle, but more lower vocal mids. I tend to use the bright mode whenever I want to sound really, really freaking fucking evil. Most of the time. And the dark mode is more for, yeah, the more gentle sounds, you know? Like, if you want to be dirty yet friendly. So this is nice, but let's move on to the EQ. Let's bring everything back to 0. Because I told you, this is the most idiot-proof EQ you will ever see. And it's also cool on all other kinds of metal high gain tones you'll see. So you can turn off the other modules. By the way, if you right click any module, you can turn it off, okay? So EQ. Why is this idiot proof? Well, just read. There's a knob called chainsaw. Let's see what it does. Makes anything sound more chainsaw. Awesome. Blade, I love that one. That is more like a presence knob on a power amp. Grindy highs. Then we have the dozer, which is basically low end. If you need things to be a little thicker, crank it. The cool thing about all those knobs is they only go into one direction. So it's either cut or boost. And even if you fully crank them, it will still sound musical in a way. So, you know, most EQ just go to 11 and you don't need that. But this one just always makes things sound nice. Cleansing. That is kind of like the mid-cut, just way more extreme. Removes all those frequencies. Let's just turn the EQ off and see what happens. Ooh. More brutal than this. Huge difference, you see? There's another one I forgot. This one is called Scoop, and it brings you back. Let me just cut that here. Brings you back into the 90s. Scoops the mids, kind of like a little like a valve state contour knob in a way. Not that extreme, but it's different from the cleansing. The cleansing is more like the lower woody mids and the scoop lies higher. I worked a long time to find the right frequencies. Okay. Oh, I love this. It's so much fun to play the grind style, and you can really get ridiculous amounts of gain with the boost. It's fun. Okay, final section is the cab section. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 IRs. And if you start here in the middle, modern gore, that's the most normal sounding one. The more you go to each of those sides, the more extreme it gets. I really spent a long time finding the right impulses. And I really prefer having 7 great sounding ones and different sounding ones than, you know, throwing a million impulses at you that you're never going to use. It just confuses most people. Anyway, you can turn this off and use your own IR player, but whatever, this sounds pretty fucking cool. So, Modern Gore. Let's go to Modern Disgust. This is more mid-forward. Slightly honky, but in a way, it's just a different kind of aggressive. Let's move on. More gore. That sounds so fucking underground. Blend 2 tracks of this with 2 tracks of a modern sounding guitar tone. You'll see, it's awesome. Let's move on. And that's the most direct and aggressive sounding IR. So they're all very different. Different cabs, different speakers, different mics. The other side here is a little more Swedish. Called Bloodpath. Wolverine. These ones are fantastic, and they're all just made for this kind of distortion. There are like additional features that I haven't talked about. There's an effects loop. If you wonder what that is, I'm not going to show you now, but it turns off the bottom shaker channel. And if you turn on the sidechain in your DAW, you can send any signal, like from another plugin, another track, into the grindstine and use the blend knob to blend your signal, your guitar, with the chainsaw channel. And they will both go into the IR player and the EQ. Fantastic, right? So, but if you just turn this off, it just means one channel will disappear. Okay. Another feature is the phase. And, you know, we're adding 2 channels of distortion, and there's always some kind of phase mismatch. There are always some frequencies that will disappear and will get lost. We try to get the channels in phase as much as possible. But then we found out, hey, if we flip the phase, it actually sounds even more fucked up. Sounds like this. Sounds very, very kaput. But if you tweak the knobs, you can find some settings where this really takes out everything honky, everything woody, and makes things sound so nasty in a nice way. There are 2 presets I want to show you based on actual bands that have inspired me. One is called Rotten Sauna. Sounds like this. Really nasty. Anybody knows Rotten Sound from Finland? I love that band. So that was inspired by Rotten Sound. By the way, Mika from Rotten Sound actually plays the real grindstine as well. So Mika, if you're watching, let me know how you like. Do you like this? Let me know. Thank you. Another preset is called, where is it? Pulling Nails. Nails, anybody? Very bright, very aggressive, very over the top distorted. This out of phase feature, you know, it's not a bug, it's a feature, yeah? I think those are the main features, that's all. But, you know, there are so many possible combinations here. And remember, you can always send any signal into your grindstine from your DAW. So any other plugin, and see how it blends with the chainsaw channel. And you always need to double check the phase if you're sending something into the grindstine, right? Because it might be out of phase or not. Just find out, check which one sounds better. So let me sum it up. We got a nice noise gate. We got a dual channel blendable preamp with a boost and a lot of bells and whistles. We got an EQ with a piggy that is very idiot proof for people like me, you know, which just sounds great. And remember to try it on some other tracks, just the EQ. It's really helpful. And finally, we've got a cab with 7 different great sounding IRs. It's time to get dirty, everybody. I hope you like this. Doesn't this sound fantastic? I gave my best to make it as easy as possible for you to get some really nasty and fucked up guitar tones. And I hope this plugin will inspire you to create some brutal sounding records. I think you can do a lot with this. It can go from doomy, sludgy tones up to traditional death metal tones, or you can even like play any sort of metal with it, but just make it a little more gritty and a little more, less clean, you know, less boring, if that's what you want. Everybody's complaining about metal sounding too generic and sounding too boring. So here's a tool that might help you. 2 more things I want to say. First of all, of course, there's a link below. There's a 50% discount right now on the plugin. But if you are subscribed to my email list, that means you have sold your soul to the devil, right? If you are there, you have already received an email with an extra discount because I love you. If you are not on my email list yet, have a look below. There's another link you can subscribe. And it makes sense to be on my email list because we're doing some really cool shit there. I'm doing beer with Kohle videos, like exclusive videos for you. And there are a lot of cool people there. And this is like the core for the upcoming Kohle Audio Cult, which will be my recording and mixing and mastering academy that I do together with Warren Ewart, and that will be launched sometimes next year. I also want you to check out the original pedal, of course. If you're not a digital guy and you haven't heard about this yet, check out the original Grindstein. It's a lot of fun. Also, check out the other Audiority plugins. I'll put a link there. They're fantastic. They're cool. Leave a comment. Tell me how you like the plugin. Or even post some mixes somewhere, you know, some stuff you've done. I'm really curious how you're gonna like this, okay? That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I love you all. See you in hell, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.